Welcome to Everyday Linux User, and this is the third episode of I Tried It So You Didn't Have To. And in today's video we're going to be talking about WattOS. Now the chances are you may have already heard of WattOS or tried WattOS. It's been around absolutely ages, and I'm surprised I've not reviewed it myself before. It has been around a long time, and even when I was writing about Linux, I haven't reviewed WattOS at all, I don't think. So this is my very first attempt at using WattOS. In a similar fashion to the previous videos in this, I tried it so you didn't have to. I'm going to be doing it in a virtual machine. So let's look at DistroWatch to see where WattOS is, and you won't find it in the top half of the screen here. You have to go down just a wee bit further, and it's down in 44th. And it says it's based on Debian. It's a fast Linux distribution based on Debian. It uses the lightweight Openbox window manager as its default user interface. So if we go back here, it says a simple, minimal and fast bring your old computer back to life with WattOS Linux. Tools you need without the bloat. You get to decide what you want without the clutter and the overhead. If I click on downloads, you can see there's various different downloads available. We're on WattOS 13. So if you want to try it yourself, you just click on one of these ISOs here. I've got other guides on my site showing you how to create a USB drive for most distributions. I plan on creating a dedicated site for that, and I'll go through the installer as part of the VirtualBox. So if I close that, I have already downloaded WattOS. You can see that here, and it's release 13, which is the latest. If I go into VirtualBox, I'm going to create a new machine. I'll call it WattOS. It's Linux based, and it's Debian. I'm going to ramp that RAM all the way up to the end of the green bit. I'm going to create a virtual hard drive. Typically I make them 25 for these videos. I'm going to click create. I'm going to go into the settings. I am going to give it more processing power, and then under display I'm going to whack that up as well, and then we can click start. And I click this button here, go to add, and I choose WattOS. Click choose, click start, and WattOS should boot up. And here we are, it says live system, so press return. So here we are, this is the initial screen you get to. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it full screen, and we can do that by going into monitor settings, changing the resolution. We want 1020 by 1080. Click apply and click OK. I'll save that. And here we are within WattOS, and that's quite a nice background image. And we're going to install. So click on install. I'm going to go for British English. Next. It's already chosen my time zone. You just click on the map, or you can choose using the region here and the zone within that region. You can change your system language and the way numbers and dates look, so you can make that choice. Click next. It's already worked out my keyboard layout, so we're going to stick with that. And then it asks what you're going to do. Now, because it's a virtual machine, I'm going to click erase disk. Now note, if you're doing this to your actual computer, it will erase your disk and it will get rid of everything on it. So if there's anything you want to keep, back it up before you run the installer. You can of course do manual partitioning, but that's more advanced. And then click next, and then it's creating a user. Password, click next, then we're at the summary, click install, and that's fairly straightforward, and the installation will begin, and in about 20 minutes time I expect it to be fully installed. So the installation is now complete, so I click done and it's going to automatically restart. So here we are at the menu, so click that. I've lost my full screen, but I'm going to log in. And we're just going to do the same thing again with the monitor. So this is my first time ever using WattOS, so you're seeing exactly what I'm seeing for the first time if you've never used it. I really like that wallpaper, I've got to say. It's yeah, that is totally up my street. So the menu system, quite basic but functional, and you can see there's not much installed by default. We have got a text editor, a screenshot tool, Vim for editing files, and a zip file tool, Image Magic for document viewer. We've got Firefox as the web browser. Transmission is a BitTorrent client. Under Office you have nothing really, just the document viewer. Pulse Audio is installed, but there's no other tools. So that's it really. You don't really get anything else installed. Let's look at the hardware situation. So I have just plugged in a USB dongle, so I need to go down to here, go to USB, and you can see I'm going to do the Bluetooth, and I'm going to do the, if you'll come back, I'm going to go and get the Wi-Fi as well. So if I go down here for the network, there we go, available networks, and there we have available wireless networks. So Wi-Fi is working perfectly fine. Let's look at Bluetooth.
Bluetooth mode.
So we can see there's a symbol for Bluetooth, it's turned off, but if I enable Bluetooth and enable that automatically, click on search, and you can see I've got my wireless speaker, and that's connected. So Bluetooth is fine. And we can prove that by going to Firefox, and we can click on one of the other videos. Welcome to Everyday Linux User, and welcome to the second episode of I Tried It So You Didn't Have To. And today's Linux distribution that we're trying is Endless OS. So as you can hear, that worked okay. We're going to unplug that now. And the next thing to try is printers. It's not immediately obvious where you set up printers. So we're going to circle back round to printers. We're going to look at how to install software. You've got the Debian package installer, which is for installing general Debian packages, and we have got Synaptic by the looks of it, but that's all you've got. So WattOS is geared for being very lightweight, so if I run htop from a terminal, you can see it's using 520 megabytes of RAM. So we can install various pieces of software. So we can update our repository, sudo apt update, and we can update our system. And we can use apt for installing software. So you can now use apt to search for packages. So if I wanted to search for print, for instance, it's going to come up with a list. So I can type sudo apt search print and then pipe that to more, and then you can use the space bar to search for packages that way. But this isn't the everyday Linux user way of searching for software. It's very command oriented, so we're going to quit out there because this isn't what we want to do as an everyday Linux user. We can use Synaptic, And even this isn't the most user-friendly program on Earth, but we can search for, say, print. You make it bigger, larger, and you can install cups. And we right-click and do mark for installation. But we also want to search for HP lip because I've got a HP printer, and I can just click that there. And then I can click apply, and that will install the printer interface so that I can use the printer. So that should be installed now, so let's see where that takes us. Well, that's annoying, Firefox even blocked it. So it's on port 631 within localhost. Now if I want to actually print, I can click add printer. And we are going to choose the Office Jet. No idea which one of these you're supposed to use. I'm just going to pick one, click add printer. And by all accounts I now have my printer set up, so if I click under printers, you can see that set up. That wasn't the easiest way of setting up a printer I've ever seen. The fact that you're using Openbox as your desktop WattOS probably isn't for the everyday Linux user in that respect. It's for people that have a understanding of Linux in the first place. But now I've got my printer set up, that's that working. So if I open up mouse pad, for instance, I can print to that printer. So installing software via apt or via Synaptic for the everyday Linux user is going to become problematic, I would have thought. So if we open up Firefox, I've got 2 videos that will be out by the time this video goes live. One of them shows how to get Flatpaks up and running, and one of them shows how to use app images. So let's look at Flatpaks for WattOS. So if we go to flatpak.org setup, you can click on the Debian link and you can do apt install Flatpak. You can actually just click this here, open up a terminal, right click, paste. You might wonder why you're doing this. You've installed a lightweight system, why are you then making it non-lightweight by adding Flatpaks? Purely because it's to make it more user friendly. And if I add in the FlatHub repository, and now I need to restart the machine, so I've got to do that. So we're back in, and if I type Flatpak list, it will show that I've got nothing installed. But if I do Flatpak remotes, you'll see FlatHubs available, and I can do Flatpak search, for instance Chrome, and we pipe that to more. You can see it lists all the options. Now, the easiest way to actually install software isn't by using the command line, obviously. The best way is to use a graphical package manager. Now we've seen that WattOS only comes with Synaptic, but one of the best things you can do is install something like GNOME Package Manager. So you can do this using the command line, using apt, or you can use Synaptic. So if I search for GNOME software, it's a software center for GNOME, so we can mark that for installation. And you also want to tick this box here, which will give you the flat pack as well. And then you can click apply and apply again, and it will now install the GNOME Software Manager. And this is going to be your easiest way to install software if you're the everyday Linux user. So if I now click on this software here, and if I click search and search for Chrome, you can see Chrome is now available, and same if I went for Steam. I'm getting a weird thing where I'm typing the word and it's coming out backwards as I type it. And Steam is there as well. So that's the easiest way to install software. So now all I have to do is click that and click install, and you can see it's coming from FlatHub. So I know WattOS is trying to be lightweight, that's why they've only included the Synaptic Package Manager. You're using the Openbox desktop, so the idea is that you're supposed to keep your system lightweight. But for the everyday Linux user, you want versatility as well as performance, so you probably do want these bells and whistles. I mean, as we've seen, the printing isn't ideal, having to set up using the cups system. As I showed previously, having to use something like cups for managing your printers isn't the most user friendly. So what we can do is, if we go back into Synaptic, so if you search for, it should be system config printer. We can mark that for installation. Click apply. Now you've got this print settings option here, and you can see my printer's there. If I want to, I can add another printer in. So this is another useful tip. So you don't have to go through the whole web front end to install printers. You can just install this piece of software. And really, I don't understand why WattOS wouldn't include this by default. So you can customize the look and feel. All you have to do is go to Preferences, Customize Look and Feel, and you can see I'm in dark mode. Personally, I prefer a light mode, so I can just do that. Click Apply. Unfortunately, the panel doesn't change, but we can try other themes. So yeah, it doesn't completely work because it doesn't change your panel. Despite it saying a system theme, it's not actually defaulting to the system theme. There's also desktop preferences. You can change your desktop icons, and you can turn on the menus for your window manager so that you don't have to keep going down to the bottom left corner. So if I click that, you can see I've now got the Openbox menu by right clicking. Whereas if I turn that off, you get this menu, which is the ability to go into desktop preferences and create new. You can change your wallpaper at any time, but actually this is a really nice wallpaper, so I'm not going to. So let's sum up what I think about WattOS. It's actually pretty decent. It's very lightweight. I think I've shown you before that it doesn't use much memory on its own. It's probably using a bit more now because I've installed GNOME software. It The hardware works okay for Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, etc. Printing didn't have a print manager installed, so I had to install. You can either install cups the way I did it, or you can install the print config manager, which gives you the nice graphical tool for that. Installing software, you've only got Synaptic. If you want to get you can get things like Chrome and other software from the Debian package manager. There are ways of doing that, which I've shown in other videos, but if you really want to make your life easier, install Flatpak and install the GNOME software manager. Would I recommend this for the everyday Linux user? I'd probably go for MX Linux over WattOS, to be honest with you, because it works better out of the box, but it is quite good. It's been around a long time, and I understand why maybe the people that use it, because maybe they don't need the bells and whistles that some of us everyday Linux users do. And that's the end of the review. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time on Everyday Linux User.